So, your uncle. What's wrong with him?
He's possessed.
As in the devil?
Something like that. He says a dark man is following him, watching him at all times.
What do you make of it?
It's nonsense, of course. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't bother me. You see, it runs in my family.
Possession?
No, Detective. Deteriorating melancholy. Practically every member of the Harwood family is driven mad before they grow old.
But Jeremy didn't kill himself. Is that why he's at your setup?
Despite being convinced that he is truly possessed, he decided to put his last chips on Dr. Gray and his psychoanalysis, figuring he might stumble upon some cure.
You mentioned a letter.
I received a disturbing letter from Jeremy accusing the staff and all the other patients of being involved in some cult. And now they are also out to get him.
Could it be real? Or is it all just in his head?
It's a story he tells himself, Mr. Carnby. Anything to avoid the truth.
Which is?
That we're all terribly insignificant. That people mean so very little to one another. That there is no one out to get Jeremy Harwood because he isn't worth getting.
Here we are.
My uncle's not well, Mr. Carnby. I want to make sure he's all right.
Then what's my part in this? You couldn't get a cab?
I just wouldn't feel safe going alone. Did you bring a gun?
Yeah. You think it'll actually come to that?
No. But you might need to wave it around depending on how agreeable the staff will be.
What exactly are we gonna do when we find Jeremy?
I don't know. Let's just find him first. Hello? Hello?
Looks abandoned.
It can't be. There has to be someone around.
Wait here. I'll go around back.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm going to do a little commentary in the beginning, just kind of give you guys a rundown of what I'm going to be doing with this walkthrough slash playthrough, and then give my initial reaction to the game. My first suggested note is if you see that little notepad up in the right corner, I didn't realize it at first, but when that pops up, you can click to your menu and go to objectives, and then you're going to get some voice acting of a lady who's going to go over the story and kind of describe what's going on. It's good to keep you on track and remind you what you got to do. And then what's also good I like is when you pick up items that are like a diary or something written, they'll have a voice actor read it to you instead of making you read it. Because I know when I play a game and anything longer than 5 sentences, I'm just not going to read it. When I'm in that zone, it's really hard to stop to read something. But if someone's reading it to me, it's I can kind of put the controller down and just listen. It's not as bad. So I beat the first 2 chapters. I played for around 4 hours. Obviously, I picked David Harbour's character. You do get a choice between his character and Jodie Comer's character. So he's Edward Carnby. I got an old school mode. So what I gathered from the menu was that you just don't get hints, or just not as many. It hasn't been too hard, so I can't imagine having hints that it would make it way too easy. So I do not suggest that. So right now I'm trying to figure out the game. I'm looking for a flashlight and a key. It's going to be in this side of the stall. But I've been really liking the game. I feel like it's smooth. Like every part runs well into the next. So like if you're looking for an item, it's never like an insane corner of the map where you're like, where the hell I can never find. It's like kind of things just happen in a way, or everything kind of runs together in a nice way. I like the layout of the house. You get a map. You can see exactly where you explored. I like that. The puzzles are good. They're not super easy, but they're not like pull your hair out difficult. But they're hard enough to where like you feel like you accomplished something when you solve it. All right, so I'm going to click on objectives now. This is what I was talking about.
Desetto, the old plantation building, was ready to fall, but kept alive by some starry-eyed carpetbagger called Dr. Gray. Seeing how the staff couldn't even be bothered with answering the door, Detective Carnby figured they would just head inside and grab Jeremy. He just needed to open the front door for Emily first, so she could talk to her uncle.
Yeah, so I like that because usually when that pops up is when you hit a new area. So it lets you know that you're on the right track and kind of gives you an update on the story, what's going on. The next part I'll talk about is combat. I've seen some negative reviews. They were saying it was too janky for them. I honestly don't mind it. I think it adds to the realism because you're fighting these crazy nightmare monsters that you would never see in real life. And, I don't expect them to be John Wick doing combat rolls, hitting perfect headshots. And I think it adds to the tension when you got this monster bearing down on you and then the reticles, bouncing around and trying to get it dialed in. Makes it more exciting. Uh-oh. Some cat eyes there. You do come back to this area, and the cat eyes will be back, but I think it's just for effect. I don't think anything comes of it. Alright, so this area, you're going to find some stuff. Don't worry about it for now. We won't deal with this till close to the end of Chapter 2. So right up here to the right is going to be a well with a broken piece in it. So what we're going to do later is put a garden hose down there, fill it up with water, and then that'll bring it up to the surface. We'll be able to grab that. That'll be for the boiler. Through these doors will be the conservatory. But first I'm going to look over here. There's going to be a garden shed. When we come back to this area, you're going to have bolt cutters, and then you'll be able to access the shed. That's going to give you an attachment for that garden hose to fill up the well. And then when we come back, there's going to be a ladder hanging here. We'll be able to push that against the wall that'll make a shortcut. So up here, like I said, it'll be the conservatory. Colonel Mustard with the knife. This big ass tree seems like it should be somewhat story related, but nothing's come of it yet. I'll take a selfie real quick and edit it out. Whoop. To the left there will be a broken vase before you go down the steps. That's going to be the housekeeper's key. That's going to get you in the house. And then that'll be your first achievement / trophy. That little indent in the tree does look like it might take an emblem or some kind of medallion, but I doubt it. So I'm going to do a little lap around the tree, look for some items. I don't find anything back here. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. There is a good amount of collectibles. They come in groups of 3, so you'll need to find 3 items to complete a group. And then each time you complete a group, it unlocks some kind of special feature or item. Most of them look like they unlock forbidden knowledge, which is a little vague. I unlocked one forbidden knowledge, and I don't even remember what it was, so it's nothing too crazy. The best one I got was called Lost Children, and then that unlocked the case for the shotgun. So each group has a name. You definitely want to get the Lost Children one. The 3 items, they weren't in anywhere, off the beaten path. They're pretty easy to find because the game wants you to get that shotgun. So right here, later on, you're going to come through these doors through the other way for a shortcut. And by that time, you actually do need the bolt cutters to get through that door. So you will have the bolt cutters. and then you could use them on that garden shed like I talked about. Don't forget to grab that whiskey flask. That will be your health. You just hit up, and then that'll restore your health. Alright, so we're getting in the house. I'll leave it there with commentary. Like I said, I'll just leave notes in the video, and then check the description for timestamps for important items or puzzles. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in Chapter 2. Bye.
Don't mind if I do.
Every day your silence weighs a little heavier. It's been a difficult year for everyone, and many have lost all hope. I read in the papers about people suffering. Pictures of dust-covered landscapes without a drop of water. I wish I knew if you were still tending the earth, or if you had turned your back against us. I have started to look for help elsewhere. I pray you will tell me if I am going down a path that you find disagreeable. With help from Batiste and Charlotte, I found comfort in the practice of the voodoo. I have long been skeptical of that Caribbean cult, but it's been of good use to me. It seems all harmless in my book. I say some words dreamt up by the Creoles, and I carry around a small pocket of gree-gree. Nothing of this is mentioned in the Bible, of course, but the French Quarter priestess tells me it's all connected. She says the Christian God is just one more perspective on the creator of things. That's what I like to think, but the other way around, that the spirits of her faith are just aspects of you, our Heavenly Father. I am so grateful for the words you gave Mr. Hartwood. We will sing your praises at St. John's Eve. The world will be blessed soon again. Only the sacrifices of the Old Testament compare to your demands. Let it be the truth. A mother of earth, wood, and dirt. A mother of 1,000 young.
Sacred.
What was that?
Please do not touch the boiler. It is working after all. While the sabotage has caused a leak, only the decorative plate has been completely ruined. Let's wait for Mr. Chance to turn up and he can take a look at the leak. Mr. Waits.
That doesn't look safe.
Sunday, June 22nd. I spent all day looking for Jeremy. I should have cared for the others, but I'm scared that he will do something irreversible. Cassandra is upset that I didn't give her the latest shipment of pain medication that Waits brought from the post office yesterday. I would have given it to her, but the company didn't send a new key this time around, so the box is just sitting there on my desk. They must have figured we had plenty of their gimmicky keys by now. I only remember seeing one lately. Grace was playing with it inside the grand parlor. Unless it turns up by itself, it will have to wait. I have to figure out where Jeremy is. I think Jack knew something. That dog of his found a strange rot permeating the house. She's showing us, he said. Like those blots and streaks of fetid rot was talking to him.
Nice. I need the key. Oh. I need the key.
thanks.
What are you doing? Who are you?
Whoa, pardon me, excuse me. My name is Edward Carnby, private investigator. I hope you don't mind we let ourselves inside.
I do mind. This is private property. You can't just barge in here.
I'm sorry about all this, but I'm looking for my uncle. It's urgent, and no one was answering the door.
We can't hear you knocking anymore. None of us can. Who is your uncle, darling?
Jeremy. Am I right? She has that heartwood gloom, doesn't she?
That's right. I'm Emily Hartwood. I just came to make sure my uncle is all right.
Well, he is unavailable right now. You will have to come back another day.
Unavailable how? Is he sleeping? We can wait.
He's lost.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
Who's your man again, Miss Hartwood?
My name's Edward Carnby, private investigator.
Splendid.
Enough! All of you! Get back to your rooms! McCarthy, keep your eyes on the child. And you two, please leave immediately.
Look, we're not here to cause any trouble. Just let us see the old man, satisfy the curiosity of my client here, and we'll be off.
Jeremy has gone missing. There's no need to worry, but it might be some time before he turns up. The whole staff is looking for him.
What? He ran off?
I don't have time for any of this. Please, come back tomorrow.
All right, in that case, we'll just wait in his room. You don't mind, do you? It's upstairs, right?
Wait, you can't.
Don't worry, we'll be discreet.
In the corridor. It's the first door on your left. I'll tell Dr. Gray you're here.
Excellent. Thank you, madam. All right, here we are.
Let's look around. See if we can dig up any clues.
Every night the dark man stands opaque at the threshold of my room, counting the days until my spirit spills out of my tired shape. Only his pallid mask shelters my remaining sanity. Staring directly into the face of that demonic sultan would surely sunder time itself. Would he have looked the same to my father as he struggled for his life? Does his veiled face haunt my niece quite the same way? I wish so that I could rest my soul in that sunburnt convent of Tarawea. Would I find you there, Juan? Or Senora Pirosi, back from the beyond? Every night I hide from him, moving from one misshapen memory to another. Scenes conjured out of fantasy and delirium. Places I struggle to even paint. I wish I understood your death, Senora. Is there anything I could do for you but bury you in that bleak necropolis? That triumphant chapel rising above the ledges and the oven vaults shall be your sepulchre, where you may rest, and I shall weep. How did you first come to understand such things, Senora? How did you know that the battered boil in the basement would lead me to Lafayette Cemetery? Or how the old upstairs clock, with its astronomical motifs, would take me to that hateful mound outside of Claremont Harbor? Those are my memories, my past. Is there perhaps a chance, if ever so small, for me to see Tarawea? Oh, I want that more than anything. Please, let my talisman take me there. Let me sit with Juan under his Bodhi tree. Despite having sold me that talisman, Miss Jackson, the voodoo priestess, revealed none of her secrets to me. That's why I had to travel to Tonka. Instead, she cruelly told Batiste, my caretaker, that he would be betrayed and killed in the most awful way, that the one he loved would pierce his thigh with a sharp spear, and that he would be devoured by his own mother. What a terrible thing to say. The people of Depresion are becoming dangerous. They do not understand what they are doing. I must do something to stop them. I tried talking to Dr. Gray, but he confuses my worries. He's caught up in treating me. How can he expect evil to be cured with medicine and conversation? The orderlies, the housekeeper, and the patients are all deranged. They will call upon evil to enter this world. All will be lost. Everything. Unless I can find the clerk, Mr. Waite. He seems to be a clear-thinking man. Maybe Beauregard. The dark man offered me a prison, and I accepted. I signed that miscarried contract and entered the dark pact. Everyone is safe, except for me.
Hey, you know anything about this? Looks like some sort of talisman.
No, I don't. Oh, help me out here, will you?
I would kill the guy to throw some of this stuff out. I'd be crazy too if I had this much junk lying around.
Oh, wow. That's striking. I want to save this one. All right, come on. I want to go see Dr. Gray. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, I'm coming. Miss Hartwood. Ellie? What the hell is going on? Where am I? I can't go that way. What the hell is going on? I can't go that way. Okay.
Let them get inside, Carnby. They're not the good kind.
Are you... Is this your store?
There are no owners here. We both strangers in Jeremy's story.
Jeremy did this. How?
The pact with the dog man. Jeremy warned us, but we didn't think much of it.
I'm Detective Edward Carnby. I was hired by Jeremy's niece to find him.
Oh, yeah? How much she paying you?
$150.
She's sure getting her money's worth tonight. Are you a thinking man, Carnby?
No, not if I can help it.
You know, I think Jeremy's hiding in a way we can't find him. He has this Juju necklace that guides him.
The Talisman?
That's right. It's some magic charm he got from Miss Jackson down the street.
The voodoo priestess?
You know surprising things, Carnby. Yeah, the Mama Loa. Here, take the key. I locked the gate to save her place from all the ghouls and goblins getting inside. Maybe if you go there, you can find some clues to show you the way.
Thanks. I'll have a look. You want to come along?
Nah, I'm gonna stay here for a while.
I can't go that way. Oh.
My weapon broke.
I recognize this place. It's Miss Jackson's seance parlor. Let's see if she's got any information on Jeremy's talisman. It's the talisman, the one in the painting. I think it's meant for the talisman. It's showing something. A place? Where is that? Huh.
Detective, I was wondering when you were going to show up. Mrs. Thompson told me you were here. I understand you are working for Jeremy Hartwood's niece.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you're not wrong. We came here for her uncle. I just didn't expect... I didn't expect this. You are Dr. Gray, right?
That's right. You don't happen to have some identification, Detective. I'm not keen on having strangers prying into my business. Oh, Detective Edward Carnby, Decatur Street, New Orleans. Enjoying the Vieux Carré, Detective? Those old French quarters, the voodoo people, the gangsters. I'm sure you live an exciting life.
Well, it's not quite like the stories, Doc. Just trying to make a living.
Aren't we all making a living? Well, welcome to Deseto, Detective. I hope your time here will be useful. Now, what can I do for you?
Why don't you tell me where I can find Jeremy Hartwood?
Why wouldn't that make for a short visit? I wish I could tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know. A drink, Detective?
Anything brandy.
Oh, you do belong in the French quarters, Detective. Armagnac or cognac?
You know, just give me the cheap stuff. I'm not much of a connoisseur.
Having low standards is not a virtue, Detective. Let me see if I can broaden your perspective.
What can you tell me about Jeremy?
I wouldn't want to go into details about his condition. Doctor-patient confidentiality. I'm sure you understand.
Sure, but he is crazy, and he's gone missing. Why?
Here, try this.
Ooh, it's good. Got a bite?
It's called a sidecar. The trick is not to be afraid of the tartness of the lemon. Then, for goodness sake, don't overdo the triple sec.
Okay, what can you tell me about Jeremy?
Well, let me think. He is an anxious man, constantly worried about events not presenting themselves according to his model of predestination. He complains about things not being carried out in the right order, and that some things simply shouldn't be. Is any of this helpful to you?
Not really. I was hoping for some direction where to look next.
I'm sorry. I have nothing for you then. You should talk to my orderlies. They have been looking for him for a while now. I'm sure they would appreciate your help.
Yeah, I ran into Batiste earlier. Come to think of it, he might have given me a lead.
Oh, excellent. So your investigation is already underway.
I'm gonna go, but I'm sure we'll meet again.
Looking forward to it. Safe returns.
Could it be real? Or is it all just in his head?
It's a story he tells himself, Mr. Carnby. Anything to avoid the truth.